You're looking live at Bostic Gymnasium here in Danville, Indiana for ABA basketball action here on the ISC Sports Network as the Indiana Lions get set to take on the Ohio Bruins. Alongside Craig Cox, I'm Kurt Darling. Thank you so much for joining us here today on the ISC Sports Network. Craig, good to be here with you. The Indiana Lions coming in on a hot streak into this one.
Oh, they are. I mean, starting off the year 1-5, and then since then going 10-1. So this is an action-packed type of basketball and very family-friendly, and certainly what a classic, nostalgic type gym to be playing in.
Indeed it is. We'll go ahead and take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll have starting lineups and keys to the game here on the ISC Sports Network.
video again. I just want to dedicate this whole weekend to all of the fans and the family and all of our sponsors as well that come along, and they're not just family. They actually come to the games and show that they're family. They volunteer to help. They're in the pictures. They're helping clean up. They're greeting people as they come in the door. And that's why we try to go out and reciprocate the love. So can we all meet up at Dairy Queen this weekend and just show them some love? If you can't, that's fine. I know it is going to be cold. But if you want to come out, meet me over there. And the first 5 people that go over there per car, I will give them an Indiana Lions shirt. Just don't fight me over it. Let's just get some good ice cream, and I'll see you guys there. Oh, and shout out to Imagine Me Body also. Make sure you hit up Nurse T and check out the locker room where we get all of our sporting good apparel. This week's pregame show is brought to you.
3, 2, 1.
Has the first dunk in the building from Aaron Goya. Waits, Waddell finishes. And lays it in. There is right now the play of the game. Better finish. Good. We might see that on plays of the week. Great feed. The finish. Spin, win, 3, bury it in the lane. No, gun, yes, stop. Whoa, what a play. Flying in.
Welcome back inside the Bostic Gymnasium here on the ISC Sports Network. ABA basketball action getting set to go here as the Indiana Lions play host to the Ohio Bruins in inter-region action here in the ABA. Once again, alongside Craig Cox, I'm Kurt Darling. Craig, let's go ahead and take a look at our starting lineups here today for the Ohio Bruins. They're going to be going here with Jay Farrow as well as Cameron Mitchell, Alante Gorman, Matt Bengaya, and R.J. Farrow. Of course, you know, this is a team that is 9-5 coming into this contest under head coach Robert McClure. They're a little bit on a win streak too as well. They've won 2 in a row coming into this one.
Yeah, and one that's putting up quite a few points on the board. You know, a lot of the teams in this region and throughout the ABA, you know, it's geared to put points on the board, create a lot of excitement, but they're putting up 127 a game. You know, these two met earlier in the season, nothing short of that in terms of points, with an overtime with both teams scoring in the 130s. So we're set for a lot of action-packed here as they made their way over from Ohio.
Then you see the starters here for the Indiana Lions going with a little bit of a different starting lineup here today. Phil Bessick, Alex Brown, Jordan Heidelberg, T. Williams, and Gerald Campbell. Of course, a big omission from that starting lineup here, Coach, is the fact that Dylan Ware is not in the starting lineup here today. He is not on site here today. He had some other prior commitments, according to team owner and, of course, part-time coach Tyrone Brown, as, of course, head coach Jamar Kegler as well. But bottom line is this. He says that they're going to be fine, even without Ware in the lineup here today.
Well, anytime that you're missing a guy, it just presents other opportunities for other guys to step up. But, you know, the Lions have been a program where they've had multiple guys score in the 20s in multiple games. And so the scoring can come from a lot of areas. And although Dylan's a big load and one that's been a big added scoring punch for them here of late, but I'm sure that they will be fine. And again, it just provides more opportunity for the next guy.
Just to put in perspective, Dylan Ware, he's one of these players who came off lots of big performances. He has averaged 20 points per game over the last 4 games for the Indiana Lions. But, of course, at center court is Alex Brown for the Indiana Lions. He has had a double-double in 3 of their last 4 games. And when I say double-double, I mean north of 20 points and north of 15 rebounds over the last 4 games.
Yeah, he's a guy that can get it to you in a lot of different ways. And then, you know, also with Gerald Campbell is a guy just can do a lot on the court with a lot of different ways that he can get you from multi-positions.
We're getting set to go here. The Indiana Lions coming off of a loss to St. Louis just a couple of days ago. Going to try and rebound here today. We're underway here inside of Bostic Gymnasium. Again, 4 12-minute quarters here in the ABA. You'll also see some unique rules that we will highlight throughout the game. And Jordan Heidelberg gets things rolling from 3.
Yeah, wasted no time. You know, the nice thing about this, too, as you speak about the Indiana Lions, there's a lot of local flavor with guys that attended high school in the central Indiana area. But then there's a number of these guys that have certain stints overseas playing as well. So there's a lot of great talent and a lot of great experience that's coming to your living rooms right here through ISC.
For example, Gerald Campbell, he played some pro ball over in Lebanon and Beirut before coming back here to enter now into his 4th season here with the Indiana Lions. Speaking of Campbell, he has it right now, and he feeds it inside. A nice take in by T. Williams. Quickly up court now come the Ohio Bruins, Malik Evans, the regular point guard here for Ohio. Leaving it now for R.J. Farrow. He leaves that one short, and it's taken by Williams.
Well, one that you'll see throughout this game and these teams is a lot of energy and great pace as you have Campbell putting the three up here.
No look pass doesn't go there from T. Williams. Outside for Evans. He meanders his way in, dumps it off, and baseline jumper's good there for R.J. Farrow.
Yeah, nice touch by the big fella. Good downhill attack there, getting the defense to collapse and getting the kick and spot-up shooter.
So both teams still getting their feet wet here for the first couple of minutes or so. Loose into the corner for Bessick. Back up top to Heidelberg. He pump fakes, has to get the shot off. The shot does not count. That is a shot clock violation, so a turnover here by Indiana.
Yeah, and a great one there by Jordan to be able to get that to drop, but just couldn't beat the time with the shot clock expiring.
At least he's made both shots from behind the arc so far. One just doesn't count. Here's Alante Gorman. He dumps it off to R.J. Farrow. Three on the way is true for Matt Bingaya.
Yeah, very nice touch from beyond the arc. Kind of be in a position where you can stretch the defense, get their bigs to kind of come out now that he's dropped one of these out beyond the arc.
Indiana Lions went 18-8 last season. So far on track to match that record here this season. Of course, back in 2021, this was a team that won the North Central Region Championship, and another shot clock violation forced here by some solid defense here from Ohio.
Well, one again, got not only, I mean, obviously you got a 24-second shot clock, no different what we have with the NBA as well, and getting this ball down and getting in your set, making your advances to the basket will just play better for their half-court sets.
Bingaya tries again from deep, this time off the mark. Heidelberg pushing the issue, gets it inside here to Campbell. Campbell has struggled scoring the ball of late, and he's unable to get his first bucket to fall there. Up court now comes Jay Farrow, and he's short on his, but loose ball corralled by R.J. Farrow, and his point-blank shot doesn't go. T. Williams, no look. Pump fake by Campbell, driving the baseline. Three passes underneath, and taken by Alex Brown.
Yeah, good ball movement, good extra passing here. Did a great job by Campbell doing the show and go, getting his defender off his feet.
Double team on the sideline here. It steps out of bounds. And we'll see what we have here. It's going to be, they haven't made a signal yet of whose ball it's going to be yet. Looks like it's going to stay on this side of the court. No, it's going to be taken here by the Indiana Lions.
Yeah, there wasn't much information being given by the official there to be able to allow us to see what exactly was being called. But it appears to be a jump ball. Lions will take possession.
Heidelberg, contested three, and he's short. But we have a turnover underneath back here to Ohio.
Well, certainly Jordan has shown that he's certainly willing to put it up, shooting that deep ball.
There you saw Eric Messer checking into the ball game here for the Lions for the first time here today. Bingaya driving the baseline. And he's molested out of bounds there by Alex Brown, and it's a turnover. Messer loads it underneath. And a no-look pass goes flying over the bench and into the stands and out of bounds. Another turnover here by Indiana, and a timeout going to be taken by the Ohio Bruins. We'll take one with them. 7-5 here in the early going. 7:42 left to go in the first quarter here on the ISC Sports Network.
Please welcome one of our newest sponsors, City Barbecue. City Barbecue is out in Avon. They offer so many things like sides, ribs, sandwiches, desserts, and they have so many things that are made every day for you to come in and try them. He has so many good things that are freshly made. So if you're looking for a place where you and the family can go and have a good little dinner after the game, if you don't feel like cooking, come on down to City Barbecue and tell them the Indiana Lions sent you, and just try everything. Try everything on the menu. Just start from the top to the bottom and just let them know what you feel about it. Give them a nice review, like them on Facebook. And if you never tried it, you got to get there soon. Thanks, City Barbecue, for everything. They have drinks, guys. Remember, you can go in and get drinks, and they even have curbside assistance. So if you order it, you don't even have to go in. You could just send someone in to get the food, or you can go in and get it yourself. So stop on by again at City Barbecue. Thanks for being a sponsor.
Kind of a slow start here in front of a nice crowd inside of Bostic Gymnasium here as the Lions lead the Bruins 7-5 early here on the ISC Sports Network. Craig Cox, Kurt Darling here with you. Craig, your initial thoughts here on what the Lions need to do here and try to get this game to move forward here in this one.
Well, I think pace. You know, we talked about the pace being big for both these teams and how they put points up on the board. It's been a little bit slower, and that's, you know, maybe attributed to some of the half-court defense that we've had, but there hasn't been much in transition from either team with that. Like to see some a little bit more attacking that you have from Ohio. They haven't really shown that to this point. Everything's been to the outside, just getting one basket off of penetration.
So Jay Farrow bringing it up court. And the baseline jumper for Ohio doesn't fall. That is Campbell Mitchell. Loose ball corralled here, though, by Evans. And they're going to get a turnover here. Looks like it may have been a traveling violation here on Ohio. Campbell outside, trying to feed it in. Nice take and a jam by Alex Brown.
Well, and Alex gives you not only the skill set, but just the length. I mean, it's not only the height, but just the wingspan that this young man has as well. So it's not only on the offensive side we just saw there, but how he can alter shots on the defensive end as well.
Another turnover here by Ohio on the other's possession. Campbell going to try and do it himself this time. He forces his way underneath and lays it up and in.
Well, that was one of the situations where it was just more ISO, get out the way. I'm going to crab dribble my way back to the basket and using his body to getting a pretty easy one down low.
Gorman kicks it back out. Underneath. And we're going to have a foul coming up here. Looks like it's going to be against Indiana, maybe Alex Brown.
And one that they, I believe, called on the floor prior to the shot. Did a great way of getting downhill, as you see it here on the replay, getting the inside hip and kind of bullying his way to the basket. But good, strong drive right here by Matt Bengaya, and he's got two here. Looks like they are going to call him on the shot.
Impressive, though. We're almost 6 minutes into this game, and that's the first foul here of this contest. As Evans will take a seat there for Ohio. Again, this is an Ohio squad averaging 127 points per contest. They are certainly able to get the scoring going. The problem is, so are the other teams that they've been playing. They've only been able to win 9, but they've lost 5 games as well.
Yeah, it looks like we had Kendrick Lee check in for the Lions. So a local guy coming, graduate from Brownsburg. You know Brownsburg a little well, don't
Just
you,
a little
Kurt?
bit, you know, kind of graduated from there. Shots don't fall there for Matt Bengaya. And now into the game for the first time here for the Indiana Lions is a new face on this roster this season, Leon Tillman. Kendrick Lee outside, and he's short. Back the other way, Tillman with some nice defense. Campbell gonna set things up and direct some traffic. Brown, no look, bounce pass underneath, and Tillman with the finish.
Yeah, you love the great interior passing, good basket vision, and being able to find his teammate for the easy uncontested.
And we got a foul coming up here on Indiana, as you saw Jay Farrow go right to the rack.
Love to see what we saw just on this last possession Again, when you have the big men that you see with that vision, love to see the extra pass and play in the percentages.
So this will put Cameron Mitchell at the line for the first time here today. Second foul on Indiana, both of them on Alex Brown, as the first one doesn't fall there for Cameron Mitchell. And of course, one thing to note about the foul situation here, you don't have to worry about fouling out in the ABA. However, if you go past the sixth foul, the person that you do foul gets one extra free throw for every foul you commit after that.
Yeah, there's not only with that one, but there's some other things that the ABA has instituted and played with that really make it a little bit more engaging, fun, exciting to watch. Added piece of that, some opportunities where you can 2-pointers a 3 and a 3's a 4. So really some nice little pieces to add some incentive for the offensive side.
Campbell takes it himself, tries to draw the foul and does. Can't get the extra shot to fall. And there you see Alante Gorman wanting a traveling violation from the officials. Doesn't get it. This will put Campbell at the line. Just enough contact.
Well, again, Gerald's one that can do things in a lot of ways. Balance, as we talked about earlier, not only hits you from the outside, but use his size and strength down on the post. But he's one that can handle the ball as well, whether it be in the open floor or just on a defender. And so those are good attributes for him to have, and much why he's had great success.
Campbell coming off a 12-point performance against St. Louis just about a week ago. He only scored 2 points against the first meeting this season against Ohio, but he now has 4 here today in the first quarter.
So Jackson Stone also in for the Lions.
He's another new face here this season for Indiana. Of course, he's played some minutes for Indiana in the past, but has not played much so far this season, if at all. So you've got Stone and Tillman, some fresh faces here on the Indiana roster. Speaking of, Tillman dumps it off to Lee, and he runs right into a brick wall of Ohio Bruins players. Campbell gets into the lane. Spin around jumper, can't get the finish. Right there, though, is Stone for the rebound and just loses his pivot foot. That's going to be a traveling violation.
Yeah, tough move from Campbell, and really one hard one to hit, fading away, attacking as he did there. Couldn't quite come up as it came a bit short.
It's been all Indiana here from start to finish. We've had a tie ball game, but otherwise, Indiana has been the only team that's led. Farrow gets the offensive rebound and the putback, and he'll go to the line for an extra shot.
Yeah, good strong move here, and one in that you saw the Lions coming out with a zone. You know, looks like we're going to get a timeout here by the Lions.
So it's a 30-second timeout here taken by Indiana while we have a moment. Today's broadcast brought to you by BHB Group, who presents the African Experience May 22nd through the 30th in Ghana, Africa. For more information about this amazing life-changing vacation, be sure to visit bhbgroup.org. So there you see Coach Jamar Kegler coaching up his team right now. Here you also see owner Tyrone Brown there in the huddle as well. Of course, we joke about his role here with the team as you see a big play there by Alex Brown. Down low and a few others as well here from Gerald Campbell.
Well, again, a lot of post action as we've seen these three replays for you in terms of the interior, which is really what you want to do, is being able to find that balance and have your defense be able to honor both inside and outside off the perimeter. But they've shown their ability for the interior passing. They've shown it in terms of working their way down from post moves and then starting off the game where Heidelberg started us off with a 3. So finding the good balance there from inside and out.
Of course, finishing my thought about owner Tyrone Brown here for the Indiana Lions. Of course, he was the Serta's head coach and owner for a while here of this team before bringing on Coach Jamar Kegler here this season as head coach. But of course, you also see Tyrone Brown sweeping the floors and even entertaining the fans as well. He certainly does it all here, and he does an excellent job of it as well.
Well, what a great way to give back to, you know, these young athletes to further their playing career when so many of them want to do that. And some of these guys could have some opportunities to even go overseas, but staying home here allows them to balance a little bit of life and obviously continue to play some ball. And what a great opportunity it is for this community to be able to come out and support as they are.
R.J. Farrow gets the end one. We're back to a 4-point ball game. Messer off the screen here from Stone. 3 on the way, and he hits. A big shot there by Eric Messer.
Yeah, great job there by Eric of what we would attack as far as clipping the hip, really getting tight to the screen, running his defender into it, and dropping that down beyond the arc.
Farrow fumbles the ball, but is able to corral it and connects on the back door. Got to give some props to Jackson Stone there on that three-pointer as well. He provided the screen that opened it up. And speaking of Stone, he works down low and is blocked by Farrow. Here's Jay Farrow, right down the sideline and goes right to the rack.
Yeah, great job in transition there. Straight line attack. You want to go in terms of what the defense gives you. I'm going to get downhill. Went right to the rack and dropped that off there.
This is the closest that the Ohio Bruins have been here over the last 5 minutes. Campbell, spin move inside. Floater is able to roll in.
Got a great touch, Gerald does there in terms of using his body. But really nice basket.
Campbell leading the way with 6 points. And Stone wanted a charge right there. Instead, taking it right to the rim is Cameron Mitchell.
Well, you can see some of that pace kicking up now, too. You've had 2 baskets by the Lions, and what has happened with the Ohio Bruins scoring within 5 seconds in transition and back-to-back possessions.
Campbell unloads it from deep, is a little too strong, but Messer is able to get the offensive rebound. Campbell taking it inside this time, draws the foul and gets the and one.
He's shown early on, Gerald has, in terms of his ability to play through contact. It's the twice that he's had the and ones here in the last 4 or 5 possessions. Doing a great job in allowing the Lions to keep this lead here.
So that's another foul here on Cameron Mitchell. I believe that's his second.
Great kiss off the glass, too. You love to see that. You know, really, Kurt, you don't see that a lot anymore as far as the window being used as much. But great job there by Gerald, and then also to convert the 3-point play.
Campbell 3 for 3 at the charity stripe. He now has 9 points to lead the way here for Indiana. Mitchell unloads from deep. That's off the front of the iron, but Jay Farrow's there for the putback.
I think he scored their last 6, so he's doing a good job here there on the putback.
Into the lineup now, Anthony McDaniels here for Ohio. And McDaniels working here on Lee. Lee gets a little bit of help from Stone. Messer, step back 3 from him. Yes, sir! Messer with 5 points. And now we have a stoppage in play.
A good inside-outside action there to get the defense to collapse. And Eric being ready to shoot that. Not sure what the stoppage might have been for, but officials are getting counsel from each other.
So the officials stopping play here right now. There was not a timeout called, no foul or anything. Looks like they may be trying to figure something other administratively out here.
We do have some subs at the table coming, but yeah, we'll look to get the ball back in play here. It's like Matt Begea coming back in for the Bruins, and the Lions have reporting Williams and Walker.
So a couple line changes here as Lawrence Jarrell will check in here for Ohio for the first time here today. So Darrell Walker in as well. Coach Kegler making a good rotation of players here that he has available. Farrow from 15 feet away, off the mark. Messer leaves it for Lee in the backcourt. Williams now working on Farrow. Outside, Walker into the corner. Messer trying again from deep. He is 3 for 3 from behind the arc.
Well, that'll extend your defense. You continue to knock down not only deep perimeter shots, but threes at that. Just only allows for future opportunities for you to get downhill or for your post play.
Largest lead of the game here for Indiana off of 9 points from Eric Messer. Loose ball and offensive putback there by Matt Bengaya.
Well, one that the Lions got to do a little better job in shoring up on the extra opportunities. There's been a fair number or handful of offensive rebounds that these Bruins have gotten. That's just only increased their opportunity to contribute scores.
Williams goes in on Farrow, steps back outside to Lee. 5 seconds to shoot here for Indiana. Campbell has to get it off just inside the arc and hits right as the buzzer sounds.
Yeah, what a great first quarter Campbell's had, but great clock presence. Be able to get that shot off as they get a
turnover
steal.
Again on the rebound. That's a 3D light rule, and it goes off the mark there. That was nearly a 4-point shot right there by Messer. Loose ball taken by Farrow underneath. Still doesn't go. Walker with the rebound. And he's going to get swatted across the wrist there by Cameron Mitchell in frustration.
Yeah, and then for our listeners out there, Kurt, if you'll let them know, that's the 3D light rule. You know, talk to me a little bit more. What is that? What opportunities does that give?
So we just had a brief instance of it right there, but a turnover in the backcourt by the opposing team results in a 3D rule, which means that the next basket is worth 1 more point than what it normally is. So, for example, if the 3D light rule is in effect, you take it right in for a layup, it is a 3-point basket. If you shoot it from behind the arc, it is a 4-point basket. And then if you shoot it from behind midcourt, that is automatically a 4-point basket. That becomes a 5-point basket, and so on.
Yeah, a lot of great added opportunities for the defense, and then extra free throws even being awarded if that player is fouled in addition to that.
We're through quarter number 1. All Indiana Lions going to quarter number 2. Back in a moment here on the ISC Sports Network.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
McCulling in time. Oh, no! It's good.
This one is
God, there you go.
Wow, Dawson makes a great catch.
Spin, win, 3, bury it for Leland Walker.
Tie the game they do with the dunk by Malik Edmonds. What a play.
Oh, my goodness.
I feel a little momentum starting to fall Lyon's way.
That is Wrestler! Wrestler! Whoa!
Fans of all ages can certainly enjoy today's ball game. Of course, this one might be enjoying some other things as well, but still good to have everybody here inside of Bostic Gymnasium. On the ISC Sports Network alongside Craig Cox, I'm Kurt Darling. Indiana Lions on top 32-21 here over the Ohio Bruins. Craig, needless to say, it was a really good stretch there over the last 3 minutes to close that first quarter for Indiana.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, in terms of their ability to close on baskets and the way they did that to close the quarter really allowed them to jump out to this 11-point lead where it was really within 4 going either way. So great way to close the quarter, see if they can keep that ahead or what the Bruins might have to say about that.
An excellent quarter in that first one by Gerald Campbell. He leads the way with 11 points, but also Eric Messer, 3 for 3 from behind the arc. He has 9. Also, Jay Farrow has been the one to put the team on his back for Ohio. He has 8 with that bucket.
Well, one of those situations there. Good downhill attack here by the Bruins, but with that help, you want to be able to close that out with your help side defense instead of reaching. Got to jump that lane to be able to close that off and force a jump shot.
Lee in the corner outside to Messer, and that's his first miss from deep. Euro step and a long one inside by Bengaya, and he's off the mark.
Yeah, one he would probably like to get back. Good job by him as with attack.
Lee attacks the basket. Nothing there, and almost a windmill swat back inside there by Tillman. Instead, Williams' 3 doesn't connect, but still Lee is there for the offensive rebound.
Yeah, that's just opportunities there of Kendrick just continuing to work. You need those guys on your teams that continue to play through the end of the possession.
Foul back the other way here going to be on Eric Messer. That is his first. That bucket there by Kendrick Lee makes him the 7th different player already to get in the scorers column here for Indiana.
Well, one Matt Bengay has now got 2 at the line. You know, good attack, but I think he kind of got away with a little bit of hook. Kind of got that arm around him, but nonetheless got away with that and is at the line here to shoot 2.
Bengaya was 0 for 2 in his first trip to the charity stripe. And now he's 0 for 3 on the day. Again, Ohio coming off of 2 wins in a row against the Burning River Buckets, as well as their rival in Ohio, the Ohio Kings. And again, that's now 4 missed free throws here by Matt Bengaya.
Well, and those are opportunities, Kurt, that, you know, you just can't get back. I mean, clock is stopped. Really good interior pass here, but those are the ones that you really need, whether you're on either team here, to get those.
Lee misses off the front of the iron. Lee with the rebound, though. Gets it back out. Again from inside, still nothing doing there. And Tillman can't come down with it. Jay Farrow hit in stride back the other way, and he will get the end one opportunity.
Well, much of what Farrow's got has been in the transition games. Does a good job of releasing on the shot to be able to give his team an opportunity to get some of these transition points.
So he now has 10 points for Ohio to lead them in that regard, as we'll see Gerald Campbell check back in.
Him and Alex Brown both, some of the other big guys that really added the punch there in the first quarter. Got a nice little couple-minute breather to get back in.
And there is Jay Farrow, native of LaGrange, Georgia, played his college ball at Ohio University. And he converts the and one. So here's Gerald Campbell. Of course, he's one of the taller players on this Indiana team, but he is one that can actually play all 5 positions. Lee posting up. And Campbell again trying to meander his way in. He has 5 seconds to shoot. Has to get the shot off. He does. Can't get the roll to go. Almost a turnover in transition. Farrow spins his way across court. And his teammate Bengaya can't finish. Here comes Walker with it. He's going to try and take it in. Instead, he gets his pocket picked by Bengaya. He has numbers off the inside alley-oop attempt. Doesn't go. Instead, Farrow goes to the other Farrow, who lays it in.
Well, one that you get in transitions, those are ones you got to be able to contribute and be able to knock those down. So cut this back down to 6 after being down 11 at the quarter.
Campbell with 7 seconds. Walker down the left side of the lane, and he gets fouled going to the rim.
Yeah, Scooty get one here to get to the line to get his 2 shots, but again, got to want to be able to play through that and knock those down. But very nice attack going downhill.
That's going to be Bengaya's foul there. We'll put Darrell Walker at the line here for his first chance at points here for Indiana. And he connects on the first one. Of course, Walker has other semi-pro experience as well. He played for the Indianapolis Blaze in the CBA back for a few seasons ago. This is now in his 3rd season here with Indiana. He actually played at the old Northwest High School in Indianapolis before that closed. And he goes 1 of 2 at the charity stripe. Seven-point lead here for Indiana. Farrow along the baseline.
A really nice touch there. I thought that Walker did a really good job of playing the passing lane, making him go back door. Good find by his teammate, but for Farrow to be able to hit that, and probably what's the toughest shot in basketball in the short corner.
Walker threads the needle inside to Brown, but they're going to say that there was a foul beforehand.
Yeah, the Lions continue to do a really good job of really penetrating, kind of puncturing the defense, asking for that next layer of defense to help, as we see here, and getting the interior passing. It's about the 3rd or 4th time that we've seen that. This time, Brown's being the recipient of it. Last time, he was the giver.
And Brown connects. He now has 6 points been kind of quiet here over the last few minutes or so. Again, he's a player that has averaged a double-double in the last 4 games here so far for Indiana.
He's another one that has overseas experience, both in the Dominican Republic and in China.
Again, 7 seconds to get across midcourt, and Ohio barely gets it across. Inside, Bengaya off the glass.
Yeah, tough move again. Good body control and being able to get that finish. Having the defense changing his shot a bit.
Back to a 5-point deficit here for Ohio. Walker working inside, and they're going to cough it up, and it's a turnover back to the Bruins.
Yeah, you're always going to get these type of situations as we're going to get a timeout to where you're getting turnovers, but the ones you want to try to eliminate is those that are unforced.
Timeout on the floor. We'll go ahead and take one with them. 7:53 to go. Indiana up by 5 here on the ISC Sports Network.
The drive, the take, fouled, and it goes!
Lobbing it to the back of the end zone. They're going to say it's a touchdown.
Left foot gets through. Goal for Vargas. Hamilton will score!
Hey Lions fans, it's Gio with Indiana Lions, coming to talk about Knockouts haircuts for men out in Avon. They specialize in getting you right on your haircuts, on your linings, your shaves, your face, your touch-ups, whatever it is that you need to get done. They are the best to do it. They make sure they get us right before every game, every photo shoot. They always have us picture ready. And so we just want to give them a shout out for being a sponsor to the Indiana Lions. And Lions family, again, if you need a good haircut or a good trimming, a nice shave, they even wash your hair. That was something I didn't even know of. So just go and check them out and tell them Gio sent you, or James, whichever name you want to use. Just go on down and check out Knockouts haircuts for men and let them wow you with the experience there. They even have a cooler with drinks in it.
About midway through the second quarter, Lions on top of the Bruins by 5 here on the ISC Sports Network alongside Craig Cox. I'm Kurt Darling. Coach, needless to say, Indiana kind of letting Ohio back into this one a little bit here in the early going of this quarter.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of times the game will of any levels will be certainly games of runs, and certainly collegiately, semi-pro and pro, you'll see a lot of that. And we did. At the end of the first quarter, they were up 11, now it's 5.
Bengaya's shot doesn't go,
3.
but the follow-up right there again for Jay Farrow. He has 9 points in this quarter, 15 here in this game so far. Heidelberg back in after sitting for the majority of this quarter so far, and another turnover by Indiana.
Yeah, tough one there again, kind of unforced. You know, they had what they wanted in the high-low action as we get a 3 here, missed by the Bruins, but had him good pinned on the low post and just missed it.
Heidelberg on the mismatch here with Mitchell. Campbell working on Farrow this time. He just forces his way inside, and they're going to get a foul here on Farrow.
Well, and that's what you want in a player that you have, like in Gerald Campbell. You're pretty much ISO'd. You really didn't have a lot of the weak side help there. You also got one that's kind of referred to at times, whole mouse in the house, where you got a guy that's smaller than you. You got to will your way to the basket, and that's exactly what he did.
Campbell has had an excellent performance so far here today. He comes off of a 12-point game against St. Louis. He's now has 11, working on his 12-point right here, not even halfway through this one.
Well, he's no stranger to points. I mean, there's been a number of times he's been in the 20s in this short season, and then I think twice he's been in the 30s.
He's also now 4 for 4 at the free throw line. And now make it 5 for 5. 13 points for the big man. Back to a 5-point lead here for Indiana. Bengaya threads the needle through and connects.
And that's one thing, you know, it's one to beat your own defender. Just got to be able to have some collapse and be able to help on that to kind of cut out on some of those much higher percentage shots.
Campbell outside the Walker between him. And Campbell bulldozes his way over Gorham, and we play on Walker from outside.
Yeah, what a great opportunity, too, because really thought you might see an offensive foul there called on Campbell, but nonetheless, no call, and he drops it off for another tray.
That was a big shot there by Walker, blocked off the glass there by Brown the other way. Here comes Williams. Up top, almost has Brown on the alley-oop. Here's Farrow, spins his way up court. Gorham from deep, and he connects. Saying he can shoot from deep as well.
Yeah, that one was coming from an Ohio area code there, pulling up really deep, showing some great touch.
That's his first bucket of the ball game. And we're back to a 3-point deficit for Ohio. Walker again from deep, off the front of the iron. Corralled and taken here by Heidelberg. He's going to unload it again, and he hits.
Well, we talked about it earlier, Kurt, is he shows great comfort being beyond that line and just coming back into the game.
Can Gorham do it back the other way? Nothing. It's going to get touched out of bounds here, and they'll say it stays with Ohio. It's the second made three-pointer here for Jordan Heidelberg today. He has 6 points. McDaniel from deep. Nada.
A lot of long balls working.
Campbell around the horn to Heidelberg. He wants to shoot it. Instead goes in on Gorman again. Steps back, and he connects. Again, Gorman trying to get those offensive fouls called on Indiana, but the officials are not giving it to him. Farrow right down along the baseline.
And doing what he's done best, or at least what he's shown us that he can do best, and that is continuing to attack the basket. It's got a great job as we see the replay. Really good job, body control, hanging in the air, drawing the contact, and playing through it against a much longer Alex Brown.
R.J. Farrow coming back in here as Bengaya will take a seat. And Jay Farrow, there you see on your screen, has had an excellent ball game here for Ohio. 17 points already, working on his 18th. And that one rattles in and out. Between Williams and Tillman. Into the corner. Campbell pump fakes. Instead throws it back outside. Around the horn, Williams back to Heidelberg again. Pulls up from the elbow. That's off it, but on inside is Campbell. Still can't get it to fall. Loose ball goes out of bounds into the merch area, and it's a turnover back to Ohio.
I can end up getting a timeout here, but yeah, really good ball movement. Came up empty-handed, but you got to like what you see in that possession.
Timeout on the floor. We'll take one with them. 6-point ball game in favor of Indiana. Don't go anywhere. Back in a moment here on the ISC Sports Network.
Ball here. Harris scores. With 19 seconds.
Fake players, Big Boy. I'm telling you right now, that's awesome. I love it.
That's the finish.
You get a layup to take it, and an and one.
Out here.
47-41 here inside the Bostic Gymnasium. An excellent crowd on hand as always here to watch some ABA basketball. Alongside Craig Cox, I'm Kurt Darling. 47-41 in favor of Indiana as we work midway through quarter number 2. Craig, your thoughts so far?
Well, again, we've seen the pace. We talked about that on our last segment in terms of being able to pick up. We've seen that happen. Continue to see, much of what we thought we might see more balance from the Indiana Lions. Still kind of been a bit more outside of Farrow, been more perimeter that we've seen so Ohio Bruins. But I've liked what I've seen in terms of the more of the ball movement that we've seen as a team from the Lions, where it's been a little bit more ISO'd with the Bruins. But nonetheless, we have a 2-possession game at this point, and one that we anticipate will be full of offense.
This is the 7th all-time meeting between these two squads. Last time these two teams played, they had to go to overtime. It was a 136-131 affair earlier this year on the road that Indiana came out on top of in that one. So they certainly are no strangers in playing each other competitively throughout the course of 4 quarters in ABA basketball. We've hit the 4-minute mark here in quarter number 2. Out of this timeout, Mitchell from the elbow. And Williams comes away with it. Here's Heidelberg, has an opening, and he's going to draw the foul.
Yeah, love the attack of Jordan there. You know, you come off the screen, there's nobody there, you continue to get downhill. It's always taught, you know, in terms of younger players and it continuing to grow as you go as deep as the defense will allow you, and that's exactly what he did in drawing that foul.
And so the game that kicked off this hot streak here for Indiana, that was back on January 14th right here inside of Bostic Gym. That was against Illinois Skulls. That was a blowout win, 149-74 for Indiana. Jordan Heidelberg led the way with 20 points in that contest in a game where every member of the Lions that played in that ball game scored in double figures. As Heidelberg hits both of his foul shots. Backdoor cut to Mitchell. And they're going to say he was fouled before he shuffled his feet, as you see Jordan Heidelberg wanting a blatant travel right there.
Yeah, he was lobbying for it, wasn't he? Good job, though, of leaving his man and coming downhill to try to close that out and double him up. You know, might have had an argument, but they saw the foul first.
Fouls on the floor, a fresh 24 seconds here for Ohio. And Jay Farrow's going to unload from deep. Loose ball fought for, and that's going to be a foul going the other way. You saw Malik Evans shove Heidelberg out of the way going for the ball. Campbell off the long pass, works inside off the glass.
Well, Gerald kind of making that look easy again, attacking the basket. Just not only got the height, but certainly got the size as well to kind of just impose his will down low.
Mitchell gets into the lane, swatted out of bounds there by Tillman. Almost out of bounds anyway. Evans comes back with the loose ball, and he can't convert. Heidelberg pushes it over to Campbell. No look pass into the corner. Williams, and he draws the foul on Mitchell.
It's kind of a nasty spill there, but when you're in those positions too, and we see the replay here, doing a good job of not only attacking the basket, but on the defensive side, really good job there of the Bruins and Cameron Mitchell being able to step in, sacrifice his body, and take that charge.
And now Williams is down on the floor right now as the training staff going to come out here and take a look at him. And I couldn't tell, they may have called an offensive foul on T. Williams. We'll have to get some clarification here in just a little bit, as there's a timeout on the floor here as T. Williams still down on the west sideline here inside Bostic Gym. We'll go ahead and take a quick timeout here. Don't go anywhere. Back in a moment. 10-point lead here for Indiana on the ISC Sports Network.
I had a love for cookies the whole time. A love for baking, actually, growing up. And it had always been a dream of mine. And I got sick and at my old job and had to quit. And then ended up getting a little bit better, was able to get another job, but then COVID hit and lost my job again. And at that point, my kids and my husband were like, you need to just do this, you know. So we took a chance.
And out of that, Mama Shell's was born. And I can personally say that I have had the cookies, and they are amazing. If you haven't tried them, we offer them at the gym. Thank you, Mama Shell's, for being a sponsor for the Indiana Lions.
Well, the good news, as you see right there, is that T. Williams was up and able to walk off under his own power, but he goes into the locker room, so Indiana going to have to make a substitution here inside Bostic Gymnasium. Again, fans of all ages enjoying today's contest here inside of Bostic Gym alongside Craig Cox. I'm Kurt Darling. 10-point lead for Indiana as we continue play here late in the first half.
Remember those days there, Kurt? You have a mouthful of cotton candy. Were you the blue or the pink?
I actually did not like cotton candy. I was the weird kid that did not like cotton candy when I was younger.
I didn't either.
I would always, whenever we would go to Butler games, I would actually hork down Chick-fil-A sandwiches. That's what I would be.
I like that. Yeah, no, I was not a cotton candy either. Had it, but I didn't too much go for that. But that kid had a mouthful there.
Meanwhile, Ohio has certainly had a mouthful of Indiana right now, as it's been all at Lyons here so far. Farrow from outside with 4 to shoot. He's off the mark. Rebound to Campbell. Into the corner. And before that, a whistle. And it looks like Heidelberg may have stepped out of bounds. Either way, it's a turnover. Here comes Bengaya, fresh off the bench. And he'll get the end one with the foul coming up on Leon Tillman.
Yeah, really good job there by Matt, is hitting him with the hard step, as we see here, and getting him to commit and hitting him with a crossover and kind of finishing under to be able to draw that and hit the and one here. See if he can convert this three. He's had a little bit of trouble here from the line so far, and if I'm not mistaken, he might be 0 for 4. Is that
He
correct?
has 11 points and is 0 for 4 at the foul stripe.
Got one there down.
So he gets that one to go. He has 12 points. Back the other way, shot doesn't fall for Campbell. Mitchell screaming up court, and he's going to get hand checked there by Heidelberg.
Well, one that's tougher for Jordan to guard, a much bigger guy, a lot more physical, even though he's out, it's coming downhill hard with a lot of momentum. Jordan, a smaller frame guy, it's just kind of tough to keep him out like that. Again, as Kurt talked about earlier, these players, they don't foul out, but you do get extra attempts when you go beyond 6.
Here's Farrow after the shot doesn't fall there from Bengaya. And another foul coming up on Campbell. No, actually, it's a turnover by Ohio. So it's Indiana basketball. It looked like there was a foul called on Indiana. So the Lions catch a break. Campbell directing traffic to Lee. Kendrick Lee has a seam. It closes up quickly, though, and he turns it over. Mitchell with numbers. Tries to feed it underneath. Farrow off to Evans, loose ball, and it's stolen away by Lee, and they're going to get a foul coming up here on Ohio.
Yeah, good job there by the Bruins, really pushing it in transition, but I got to say that from a standpoint of defensive transitioning, great job by the Lions in getting back and breaking that up. And not only that, but preventing the conversion there. So good job by Kendrick fighting for the loose ball there and drawing a foul.
It's now 5 turnovers in this first half by Ohio. Inside of a minute to play here momentarily. Lee loads it up from behind the arc. And Tillman comes away with a big rebound.
Yeah, big at that.
Fresh 24 seconds. Campbell not wasting any time. And he leaves that one short. Gorman. Out to Farrow, back to Mitchell. Mitchell nearly loses the ball. He has to try and get rid of it. 10 to shoot here for the Bruins. Farrow. Loaded up. Mitchell, and he hits.
Yeah, it might be one of the best half-court possessions that I've seen Ohio have at this point. You know, had some really good outside-inside ball reversals, had the extra pass, and then you had an inside-to-outside pass from the penetration. Really good job of execution.
Indiana still has to get a shot off here with the shot clock still on. Heidelberg just loads it up from deep.
You know what he likes to do, right?
And he's short. 2 seconds left here in the half. And Mitchell gets the shot to fall at the buzzer. They count it, and that makes it a 2-point ball game at the end of quarter number 2.
And they might have got a foul on it as well, so it'll be an and one opportunity for him to pull it within 1 point.
So he's going to get an extra shot here. As you see, the clock hit zeros. The shot's out of his hand. So Ohio not letting Indiana get away with this one too easily.
Put 1 second back on the clock.
And so they're going to give at least a little extra time here. Probably enough for an inbound and maybe a full court heave.
Well, good job by Cameron in terms of, he had about 3 seconds when he got that steal back here before the timeline. Great job of understanding the clock and being able to go all the way and used his body well, drew the contact, and got a chance to convert the N1 here.
So the N1 converted. That makes it a 1-point game. Heidelberg just heaves it and is way short. And now that takes us to the end of quarter number 2. Indiana's led by as many as 11 points in this one. It has now been shaved down to just a 1-point lead going to the halftime break. Alongside Craig Cox, I'm Kurt Darling. Back in a few minutes here on the ISC Sports Network.
Shot at the buzzer. Got it! She got it! Oh my goodness, what a shot!
Brady, hello! Did it again. Hello! Made the highlight reel again. That goes to Mentor and all kinds of room to run. Down the middle of the field, and he will not be touched. Jackson, hello! There we go.
Stokes throws it, caught, ball ricochets.
Wow.
A huge hit.
Wow.
This has been an amazing display of goal scoring.
For all of your eyelash and eyebrow care, visit Decalash in Plainfield now and book your appointment today.
Has it, leaps ahead, still on his feet. Stevens lunges.
Are you kidding me?
Champions of Marion County. Unbelievable.
Touchdown.
Living up to that last name. Wabash has the lead for the first time today. Said that was going to be a highlight reel. Oh, baby.
Yeah, you can celebrate after that.
Hello, Lyons friends and family. Are you looking for commercial problems with your heating, your air conditioning, your plumbing, your drain cleaning, your gas fireplace, or your refrigeration? Well, look no further. Call Maury. He's open 24/7. The number is right there. If you have any problems or any needs, make sure you give him a call. He's a proud sponsor of the Indiana Lions. And we thank you, Maury, for all of your help with any plumbing issues or any drain issues that we may have. So make sure you all give him a call and tell him that Gio from the Indiana Lions sent you.
It's halftime here inside of Bostic Gym, and that means it's a free shoot-around for all the kids here inside to watch the Indiana Lions take on the Ohio Bruins. Alongside Craig Cox, I'm Kurt Darling. Craig, this was an 11-point game at the end of quarter number 1. Well, Ohio was able to outscore Indiana 29-18 in that second quarter right there to really bring this back and make this one competitive.
Yeah, it was a tale of 2 different quarters. I think, we had a great close from the Indiana Lions in the last 3 minutes of the first quarter, and then you saw the exact opposite and reverted, to the Ohio Bruins in the close of the second. They were down by 11 going into the second quarter, and then they close it and outscore them by 10 here in the second. And so sitting good and, very competitive game, action-packed, and one that will be up for grabs. And I think it's going to be a lot of who executes well. And then I think the big key for either team is going to be who can win the transition game here in the second half.
And speaking of that transition game, Jay Farrow for Ohio, he has been superb in that area of this contest, so much so that it's netted him 18 points to lead all scorers here for Ohio. Obviously, Indiana needs to do a better job of containing him and slow him down in transition.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times when some, and with the semi-pro type format and a lot of these guys, there's multiple guys. We talked about this in our opening segment. There's multiple guys that can get you 20 a night. And then those guys that are getting you 20 a night, a couple nights later, they might be getting you 12. And so it's sometimes can be different guys' turns, and today has certainly been Jay Farrow's, and I think it's one that they're going to have to try to put themselves a little bit more and making him do something else and having somebody else carry some more of the scoring load.
Of course, Indiana led in scoring right now by Gerald Campbell. He has 15 points, 11 of those coming in the first quarter. He kind of went a little quiet there in that second quarter.
No, he did. I mean, he inserted himself both inside and outside there much of the first quarter. Second quarter, as you mentioned, was a little bit slower and hadn't really done what he did there in the first quarter, and that is kind of willing his way to the basket.
Also a big performance so far from Jordan Heidelberg. He has 2 made three-pointers as well as a couple nifty shots and a couple of foul shots as well, to his credit. Needless to say, he's been really good as far as getting the ball up court and really running the offense, but probably need to see a little bit more from him and getting some shots to fall down.
Know that early on, and I think, you know, when you're in a position where some of those might fall earlier and then you kind of go in an area where your shot starts to go south a little bit, especially in his position, his role, you got to facilitate more, kind of run the offense, hit him more in transition, and find other ways to impact your team.
Indiana started this season 1-5. They have since been able to come back and really come on strong and win 10 of their next 12 games. Now they sit at 11-6. So much so now that they are now ranked 17th amongst all ABA teams in the U.S. Of course, that is out of 200 teams that are actually part of this association. But still, it's just indicative of how Indiana's really been able to put things together. And now, over the last 5 games or so, they're putting themselves in a really good position come postseason time when they get going with the Midwest Region tournament.
Yeah, no, it's been a great climb for them and one to the place where they're leading their region, which comes into play. We talked a little bit more about that before the game started. It's not so much on record, but winning percentages, as you had mentioned. But it's one thing that they've really climbed and ascended to an area of great play here of late, and hoping that they can put another 24 minutes of good ball and trying to come out with another one here today.
We'll talk more about what we can expect in the next 24 minutes after this quick timeout. Don't go anywhere. Halftime here at Bostic Gym. The Lions on top of the Bruins here on the ISC Sports Network.
For the newest fashions that we have with the Indiana Lions, are you looking for the jersey for your favorite Indiana Lions player? Well, come on down to the locker room here in Danville. They make all of the Lions clothing, and they have a lot of things to offer, from hoodies to jerseys to everything. Just visit the locker room today.
Yeah, Kiwanis, it's a global organization. It's a not-for-profit. So Kiwanis is dedicated to changing the world one child at a time.
Yeah.
So here in Danville, we're business owners, we're teachers, we're parents, we're neighbors, we just come together and we provide events for kids.
So check out Kiwanis and come on down to Moki's every first and third Tuesday and change lives one child at a time. Hello, Lions family. It's me again, Gio. I am going to be your host this weekend. My parents will not be here this whole weekend. So I need you all to come out with me, and we need to root the Lions on and the Lions Den like you all have been doing since the beginning of the preseason. We have seen this gym packed out like we have not seen it before. That's because we're coming together and the family is growing. The people are hearing the word that the Indiana Lions are stomping out of the Lions Den and we're taking over. I mean, a lot of new people, and a lot of you have a lot of questions about how did the gym even get here. And so I got my buddy Sean to tell you.
My name is Sergeant Sean Rout. I work for the Danville, Indiana Police Department. We are here at the Danville Police Department and Town Hall.
All right, and how did the Town Hall, the Police Department, and the Lions Gym all become one?
Well, we consider the Lions family here. I work a lot of the security at the games, and they're just part of our family.
Brewer Jim's at home.
That ball wiggles in and into the back of the net.
A little fireworks in the first half. Throw it up for Tillman. Whoa, my goodness.
122.60 for Penn.
What a swim! Six of them.
Today's broadcast brought to you by Ancestry Fashions. Our desire is to provide you tailored, custom-made, and to your measurements to modern and authentic African print clothing made from premium quality fabric from the motherland. For more information, please visit Ancestry Fashions. Com. Well, Coach, let's go ahead and take a look at some highlights here from that first half. Lots of things to certainly look at here as the Indiana Lions got things going early, off to a 5-2 lead in the first go.
Yeah, I got a lot of good things going inside, attacking the basket, outside the few threes that they had. Seeing Alex Brown down low here, getting some good downhill attacks, getting the high-low action. Those are things that just electrify the crowd. I'd like to see them get him more involved. Great interior passing. We talked about that live when it happened. But I'd like to see him get more involved on the post a bit more in Alex Brown. Gerald Campbell's just been a load to this point. And then they've had a handful of threes coming from 2 or 3 different players.
Eric Messer on that last 3 ball right there. That was his 3rd of 9 points that he has now had off of 3 3-pointers. But, of course, Jay Farrow, as you saw right there, he has been a thorn in the side of Indiana. But also Alante Gorman able to knock it down from deep as well for Ohio. But still, Jordan Heidelberg, he has 10 points. One of those right there off of a big 3.
Yeah, I tell you, Farrow's been a really bright spot. Not only his ability to be able to attack the basket in transition, but you also saw the putback that he had there on the tip dunk as well. But he's a rim attacker, and one that they've gotten some good help from Cam Mitchell coming in as well.
So what are the big things you really want to see from Indiana here going into the second half?
Well, like I mentioned just a minute ago, is I'd like to see them get Alex Brown a little bit more involved on the post. I think that hasn't been one that they've effectively used as well as what I'd like to see him, especially with his length. I think that you're going to get it with Campbell, but I'd like to see them utilize him a bit more. And then I would like to see them be in a position where they're getting a little bit more transition points. Their second quarter was big void for them in terms of the transition game.
Indeed. As halftime about to wrap up here, we'll take one final timeout. We've got the old ABA Pacers in representation here today. Homage to the ABA Pacers from back in the 1960s and 70s. Certainly like to see that. Of course, you have the red, white, and blue basketball being used as an homage to the previous league under that same name as well. We'll go ahead and take another quick timeout. Second half coming at you next right here on the ISC Sports Network.
Brewer jams it home.
That ball wiggles in and into the back of the net.
A little fireworks in the first half. Throw it up for Tillman. Whoa, my goodness.
122-6-0 for Penn. Oh, what a swim. Six of them.
Shot at the buzzer. Got it! She got it! Oh my goodness, what a shot!
Hello! Did it again. Hello!
Made the highlight reel again. That goes to Metzer and all kinds of room to run. Down the middle of the field, and he will not be touched. Jackson, hello! There we go.
Stokes throws it, caught, ball ricochets.
Wow.
A huge hit.
Wow. This has been an amazing display of goal scoring.
Has it, leaps the man, still on his feet. Stevens lunges.
Are you kidding me?
Champions of Marion County.
Unbelievable!
Touchdown.
Living up to that last name. Wabash has the lead for the first time today. Said that was going to be a highlight reel.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, you can celebrate after that.
McCulling in time. Oh, no! It's good.
This one is caught.
There you go.
Wow, Dawson makes a great catch.
Spin, win, 3, bury it for Leland Walker.
Tie the game they do with the dunk by Malik Edmonds. What a play.
Oh, my goodness.
I feel a little momentum starting to fall Lyons' way.
Got it in the air. Wrestler! Wrestler! Whoa!
About a minute 30 here before we get back to action here for the second half of this ABA basketball contest between Indiana Lions and the Ohio Bruins. Alongside Craig Cox, I'm Kurt Darling. Once again, an excellent crowd here inside of Bostic Gym. And there you see is a good sign T. Williams back on the sideline here. Of course, we don't know if he's going to be playing here in the second half, but he took a pretty hard spill here late in the second quarter.
No, he did. It was great to see him walk off under his own power after being down on the floor for a few minutes. But you're right, Kurt. Anytime that a player like that gets injured, you know, just being able to see him back out here, whether he plays or not, is certainly a great sign.
T. Williams has been an excellent addition to this team, kind of joining as the season really got moving here about 5 games in, and he has certainly been a fixture in the starting lineup whenever some other players, such as Dylan Ware, have not been available. And of course, that's one thing that you've certainly noticed here, Craig. Indiana, they've been doing fine without Dylan Ware, but you certainly miss that presence of kind of being a boom factor whenever you need him.
Yeah, you do, and he's been playing so well of late, but and the size factor too. So yeah, I mean, as we talked, it just puts your teammates and other guys in positions to be able to have other opportunities. And you know what? Again, it's one of those examples that when your name or number is called or opportunity exists, you know, make the most of it. And they're doing that here today in the absence of Dylan Ware.
So Indiana going to be going with their usual starting lineup here, minus T. Williams here in the second half. So you're not going to be seeing T. Williams. Instead, it'll be Kendrick Lee getting the start in his place here in the second half. It also looks like you're going to be seeing Leon Tillman getting some minutes here to start the second half as well. Alex Brown going to be starting on the bench here today. Of course, as you mentioned there, Coach, you want to see Alex Brown get a little bit more involved, but he's going to start the second half here on the sidelines. So they're going to be going with Campbell, Tillman, Heidelberg, Lee, and actually it will be Alex Brown getting the start here in this second half here. He just took off his warm-up shirt, so it didn't look like he was going to be starting. But needless to say now, 24 minutes of basketball left to be played, and they actually amended the score now, so it looks like it'll now be 50-50. It is a tie ball game here to start this second half.
Yep. Wherever it was, they found some discrepancy to pull one off the board, and it probably make you think that more than likely it's something that where a three-point shot maybe became a 2.
So it's back to a 50-50 game here to start this second half, and kind of a trip up there on the inbound here to start this second half. So it's going to be Ohio basketball, and it looks like they'll keep the clock. No, they're going to reset it to 12 minutes. So here we go. Second half underway. And you're going to be seeing a lot of Heidelberg on Farrow here in the second half, it seems. And Farrow along the baseline is able to get right around it.
Well, and he's starting off or picking up just where he left off. It's been a big punch for scoring for these Bruins in the first half and starts them off in the second.
First lead of this ball game here for Ohio. Heidelberg throws it up, a prayer off the glass, and they're going to get a foul.
And that's one where obviously you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're not only presenting a silly foul where, you know, the guy's not in any type of scoring threat 85 feet from the basket. Just got to get back or just allow some contained defense.
It's now 3 fouls on Alex Brown in this contest. Mitchell goes hard to the rim and is able to get it over with the big jump hook.
Well, and again, those are the two that's been the scoring punch in Farrow and Mitchell. And interestingly enough, they score the first 2 baskets for the Bruins here in the third quarter.
Tillman feeds it inside to Brown, and he goes in. Nothing there. Kendrick Lee gets the ball blocked from behind, and they're going to get a jump ball call, it appears. No, it goes out of bounds, and it'll stay here with Indiana. Take a look at the replay here. It's almost a jump ball call. And no, they do get a jump ball. So it is. So the arrow favors Indiana. Campbell loses the handle, has to get it off to Heidelberg, who loads up a top of the key 3. Nothing there. A big rebound by Tillman. It gets thrown almost out of bounds, and it's taken by Heidelberg with a fresh 24 seconds. Campbell loads it up from outside, and he hits.
Yeah, big basket there for them to come up with that, especially after getting not so much steals, but more recoveries, if you will, and turning that into 3.
Still kind of a rocky start here in this second half for Indiana.
Not sure what the discrepancy is here.
So now the officials are going to conference here at about three-quarter court.
The players were looking at both benches as well. You even got Heidelberg down here talking to the coach from Ohio, pleading his piece too. But nonetheless, it'll come down to this conversation to the two stripes.
And so they're going to call that looks like they're going to call that a 3D rule bucket.
That's turning into a 4-point.
So that's going to be a 4-point bucket right there for Gerald Campbell.
And for our listeners out there, again, that happens when there's a steal in the backcourt type of situation, and a 2 becomes a 3 and a 3 becomes a 4.
So that was a 3D rule that was not initiated by the officials, that they rightly correct in the scorer's book. Farrow off the offensive rebound. Here's Gorman for 3, and he hits.
You know, another thing into that back one, too, is Kurt on the previous possession, is the refs didn't catch it, but the players did. So they were lobbying for it and got exactly what they were asking for.
Again, it's a unique rule that you see in no other league in North America. Lee doesn't get it connect. Heidelberg, he does.
But, young man's got a nice stroke, and he shows his comfort with it as well. But, you know, hand down, man down. You give him space, a shooter.
Farrow gets the flush.
A guy that's been attacking the basket, not only in transition, but a half court as well. You just can't give him that type of space. You got to recognize and identify where he's at when he's crossing half court.
So Indiana kind of caught flat-footed here to start this third quarter. Campbell underneath to Lee. Gets inside. Looks like Farrow got a hand on that, has to throw it back out. And Campbell has 2 seconds, loads it up from far away, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. From deep is Mitchell. That's off the front of the iron. Here's Campbell with a full head of steam inside. Dishes it underneath to Tillman. Gets his own rebound. Tries again the other way, and it goes through.
Good job here on the finish. But, I mean, it's one of those things where they've had some good looks inside and just haven't been able to convert them, and then this one here, they do.
Here's Bengaya with the one-handed pass inside. Here to Farrow. That's R.J. Farrow with the jump hook. And the other Farrow, Jay Farrow, gets that to go.
And he's scoring in bunches right now, and Jay.
Farrow had 18 points at the half. He now has 26 points to lead all scorers. Heidelberg in traffic, and he gets some help from Alex Brown.
Well, and that's, again, a great putback there by Alex, but that's where you want to utilize his length around the basket like that, getting some post-entry passes or him getting some putbacks.
Heidelberg picks the pocket. Up top, alley-oop, and can't connect to Tillman. Instead, he still can't go. Gets his own rebound, and finally still can't get it to go, but Brown is there for the final putback.
Good job by them not assuming the basket was going to go in and transition him back to be able to put himself in a position to get the putback.
Bengaya is fouled.
But a lot of that last basket they got in transition, even though it took them a little while to get, was just the pestiness, if you would, that you had from Heidelberg on the defensive end.
It's actually a turnover there by Ohio. Indiana back up here by 2. Heidelberg directs some traffic. Here's Campbell with it. Working it on Farrow, a mismatch. Reverse layup, doesn't go. Lee with the putback.
Well, you've seen over the last couple possessions how they've kind of gotten the trash baskets. I mean, just the garbage putbacks in terms of getting the loose balls and the recoveries and the offensive putbacks. It's been their last 4 points.
Farrow with the Euro step, and he gets fouled, putting him back at the line. Farrow 1 of 2 at the charity stripe here today. So Ohio led by as many as 4 points. It's now back to a 4-point lead here for Indiana. And Farrow misses off the front of the iron. So here we'll see Scooty Walker check back in here for Indiana. Walker had a decent first half. He had 4 points, a made free throw, as well as a made three-pointer. Farrow goes 1 of 2. He now has 25 to his name. Into the corner, Campbell feeds it into Brown. Out top, wide open Heidelberg. He can't take advantage of the opening, but there is almost a rebound. It's tipped out there by Brown. Walker can't finish.
Yeah, I like the inside-outside action, though. You get the defense to collapse. Heidelberg's one that you want to be able to set up like that, and they did. He just wasn't able to knock it down, but good possession.
Timeout on the floor here. Indiana back up by 3 after going down just a little bit here to start this third quarter. 6:38 left to go. Back in a moment here on the ISC Sports Network.
Ball here. Harris scores. With 19 seconds left.
Fake players, big boy. I'm telling you right now, that's awesome. I love it.
You get a layup to take it. And an and one. Brewer jams it home.
That ball wiggles in and into the back of the net.
A little fireworks in the first half. Throw it up for Tillman.
Oh, my goodness.
122-6-0 for Penn. What a swim. Six of them.
Of course, the season doesn't end when the regular season ends here for the Indiana Lions. Of course, the Lions are going to be hosting the 2022-23 ABA Midwest Regional Final Four, which will be happening March 18th and 19th. For more information, be sure to visit their website at indianalions.com. That's Lions with a Y. Or email that man right there, Tyrone Brown, at tyronebrown@indianalions.com. Alongside Craig Cox, I'm Kurt Darling. Of course, Tyrone Brown as well as Jamar Kegler have done an excellent job of keeping the Indiana Lions coached up, and they're back out to a 3-point lead after having a little bit of a rough start here in this third quarter.
Yeah, we talked about at halftime how the first and second quarter was Lions, and then you looked at the Bruins in the second quarter. And then here it's been a little bit of balance of going back and forth as we were tied at 50 at the half.
So a foul here on the Lions gives a fresh 24 for the Bruins. Here's Gorman directing some traffic. Mitchell with Walker on it. Mitchell meanders his way into the lane and puts the teardrop in.
Yeah, really tough move there by Mitchell. It's really showed some great ability in terms of breaking down when he's being guarded man-to-man.
Back to a 1-point game here for Indiana. Heidelberg throws up a prayer. It doesn't go. And Lee is fouled from behind. It looks like they may get Gorman.
Yeah, Lee's done a really good job here in this portion of the quarter in offensive rebounds. It's probably his third one that he's had in the last 4 or 5 possessions. Kind of undersized, if you would, but one that has really asserted himself well around the basket.
It's actually going to be R.J. Farrow picking up his second foul there. Meanwhile, you saw Jay Farrow kind of slow to get up right there. He's going to take a seat, so we'll see Malik Evans check in, and Farrow getting a much-deserved rest here after he took a little bit of a spill beneath the basket. Kendrick Lee working in on Gorman, and he's going to draw a foul.
Must have called an offensive foul.
Yeah. Looks like it was an offensive foul.
Well,
it was something. They're going to say that he pushed.
Yeah, no,
it's going to be a blocking foul. They didn't exactly indicate what it was, so it's going to be a blocking foul here on Gorman. That'll be his first foul. So a fresh 24 here for Indiana. Back and forth between Walker and Campbell, trying to set up Alex Brown, but he was well guarded. Here's Brown with it now, trying to work on Farrow. Loses the handle, it's tipped out, it stays here with Indiana.
Yeah, it's one where you want Alex down there on the post at times. He's one that can stretch you defensively as well, but trying to get his length and be in there, but he's got to be one that fights for his positioning and being able to hold his position for the post-entry pass.
Lee is double teamed, has to get a shot off, and it's short. Evans up top now to Mitchell. Back to Evans, he pulls up from just inside the wing, he's short. Walker with the rebound. He comes with a full head of steam outside to Heidelberg. He goes into the lane, and he can't finish the bunny.
Yeah, those are the ones you got to have there.
Evans forced out here by Lee. Here's Bengaya. Loses the handle on the ball. Somehow gets it back. Puts it underneath now to Farrow. Farrow is double teamed, but still works and blocked off the glass there by Brown.
That'll be 3 seconds here. It looks like they might be calling it, but I thought it would have been done before that.
Looks like 3 seconds might be the call here. They just gonna converse real quick here. Mitchell there kind of in on the conference as well. It's a turnover back to Ohio, regardless of what the call is. And we can probably assume that it was 3 seconds. Also, one other rule to note here, as you saw that block off the glass by Alex Brown. Of course, that's a legal play in a normal setting of basketball here. As we take a look at it again, that is a legal play, of course, but if the ball is on the cylinder, that is a legal play. But also here's what we have now, actually. The shot clock did not reset properly, so it is still Ohio basketball. There's Walker back the other way. So it happened on that previous possession. The shot clock reset when it shouldn't have, but it still was Ohio basketball. Here's Mitchell, and he's fouled from behind there by Brown.
Well, certainly one that, you hear that whistle as you're attacking. He passed that ball after the whistle. You hear that whistle, you got to go ahead and shoot that. Give yourself an opportunity to possibly get a shooting foul. That by him passing that off, took that opportunity away.
So my unofficial count here has Alex Brown at 4 personal fouls. So that'll just be something to keep in mind as the rest of this game progresses. Gorman from deep, and he connects.
Yeah, Gorman showed you the ability for him to hit the deep ball there in the first half, and doing that here to knot this game up at 67.
Back and forth we go. It's a tie ball game once again. Lee around the horn from Walker to Campbell. Here's Walker, top of the key, gets into the lane, and he hits.
Yeah, really good job of really slicing the defense there and jumping to the side and not, creating the contact that could have been an offensive foul.
On the cut, stolen by Heidelberg, pushing it up to Walker. Can't get the roll, but he's going to go to the line.
Yeah, great job that we have there in him and Scooty. Yeah, it is Scooty that actually drew that contact. Good body control. Did a great job of protecting the ball and having his ability to be able to still get the shot off.
Under 4 media timeout is upon us. Indiana still keeping Ohio behind them. Back in a moment here on the ISC Sports Network.
Shot at the buzzer. She got it! Oh my goodness, what a shot!
Brady, hello! Did it again. Hello! Made the highlight reel again. That goes to Mentor and all kind of room to run. Down the middle of the field, and he will not be touched. Jackson, hello! There we go.
Stokes throws it, caught, ball ricochets.
Wow.
A huge hit.
Wow. This has been an amazing display of goal scoring.
Has it, leaps ahead, still on his feet. Stevens lunges.
Are you kidding me?
Champions of Marion County.
Unbelievable!
Wabash has the lead for the first time today. So that was going to be a highlight reel. Oh, baby.
Yeah, you can celebrate after that.
About 3 minutes and some change left to go here in the third quarter. Indiana on top by 2 over the Ohio Bruins. Alongside Coach Craig Cox, I'm Kurt Darling. Well, Coach, Indiana has been just trying to get away from Ohio, but some nifty three-point shooting and some solid defense down low by Ohio has really kept them in this one.
Oh, it has. I mean, they did a good job of doing that in the second half and keeping their distance, and they were able to stand a couple of their runs. But Ohio closed the second quarter really well. But you're right, they haven't been able to create any separation, whereas I think either team hasn't had any more than like a 4-point lead here in the third quarter.
Coach Robert McClure coaching up Ohio here as we enter the final stages here of quarter number 3. Indiana now on the court here with Brown, Walker, Heidelberg, Campbell, and Lee on the court. And so this will put Walker at the line after he was fouled before the media timeout. Walker 1 of 2 today at the charity stripe. And Walker connects. This Ohio Bruins team, of course, made up of many players who are native of Ohio. Of course, Scooty Walker's from here in Indiana, but he played his college ball at Ohio Valley University, where he was a 2016 All-Conference player. So he's probably run into a couple of these players in his time from playing in Ohio. Walker makes both of them. He's 3 of 4. Back to a 4-point lead here for Indiana. Bengaya turns it over. Walker up top to Heidelberg. Off the glass and can't finish to Brown.
Trying to bring the house down with that one right there. I don't think Alex was quite ready for it, but it set up nicely for it. That just didn't come to execution here.
Maybe just led him a little too strong, or Brown just slightly mistimed it.
Yeah, I think it came off more of the left side of the rim as opposed to coming right in the center where he was rim running.
That certainly would have ripped the roof off of this gym like a can of tuna if that had gone down. McDaniels loads it up from deep off the inbound. Walker in the corner with it.
Now Indiana needs to get something going here offensively. Just hadn't quite had the continuity that they had here in the first half as Campbell gets one to drop. And he was so strong in the first half, they need to get him going here.
Campbell only had a 4-point bucket to his credit. That was off of a 3D rule this quarter. That had been it. Gorman is hot from behind the arc. He's now 3 for 3 this quarter. Campbell again, no look pass outside to Messer, and he has been hot here today. He had 9 points.